Well, we are right at 1 o'clock, so I know a bunch of people are joining at the moment. But if Fran, we want to get going, we can kick it off so that we can get through the agenda. So,
Great.
you all should have received the agenda in the calendar invite. But if you don't have it in front of you, I will pop in and out as people are speaking just to set up the next section. So Fran is going to open with our welcome and a school update.
Yeah. Um, Welcome everyone. I love spring here because there's so much going on, and a lot of it is the culminating stuff, like the SREP Science Fair, which was outstanding, and all these like traditions that happen around campus. And of course, the lacrosse team just beat Hawken 19-1. And so
Oh,
all of these fun things are going on, and it also feels like the end is near. You can kind of see what's coming. Seniors are on the edge of their seats. They have to decide with colleges by May 1st. I try not to ask any seniors about colleges because every other adult in their life is asking them about this. So I tend to talk to them about, hey, how's your thesis going? Which of course they probably rather talk about colleges with me. But it's such a good time of year. And Mike just got back, or his trips just got back from a lot of amazing places, Japan and France and Korea. We were in Korea too, weren't we? Or that's next year.
That was, yeah. Also Peru and
Peru,
London.
that's it. And
mm.
London. And so those went off without a hitch, which we all know international travel with that many girls is a very blessed and lucky situation if it goes off without a hitch. So, but things at school are great. Healthy class coming in, and lots of admissions still happening for primary and middle school right now. And advancement wise, things are terrific as well. We have Lauren and Elizabeth have done a great job with our annual fund, which is on target. And our campaign is that we're excited about the 150th is building momentum. So all of these areas are very good. So things are great. Thanks.
Great. Thanks, Fran. I will say we did ask the council to supply some questions that you have for Fran. So those will be addressed at the end of the meeting and kind of the last section. But if you're thinking of anything while we're talking, please go ahead and put those questions in the chat and we can try to get to those as well. If we don't get to all of your questions in our follow-up recap email and video recording, we will try to get answers to you then if we can't cover everything today. So next up are just some general Heads Council updates. I wanted to first acknowledge and thank our Heads Council class of 2025. This will be your last meeting and you will be rolling off in June. So I thank you so much for your time and guidance and wonderful thoughts and ideas that you've shared with the council. You have been a tremendous part of our group, and we will always be inviting you back to the leadership event that we always have on the Friday of Heads Council. So if you are in town or can come in town, we'd still love to have you come to that. And we just always welcome your ideas, even if you've rolled off officially. So thank you again for that. And we will be inviting a new group of people to be joining this fall as our new class. Those letters are going out this week. So we are excited to invite those new members. On that point, our next Heads Council meeting will be in the fall, and this is your little save the date. It is going to be on Friday, October 24th and Saturday, October 25th. It will follow the same format as before, so there will be an welcome reception on Friday evening that you will be invited to. We hope you can make it. And then on Saturday will be the full day of meetings. The timing will probably be about the same, so around 9 to 3-ish. But more details will come on all of that. We will have all those in the recap email as well. And we already have the hotel block on hold, so we'll include those details. So for anyone who needs a hotel room, we can go ahead and share that with you so you can reserve it. Also, we would love if you have an updated headshot or bio that you would like to include in the new directory. You can send it to myself and Tiana. Tiana will be working on that over the summer and adding all of our new members in. So please send that to us by August 1st if you can. I know that seems like a long ways away, but we're giving you plenty of time to get that in so that we have the most up-to-date directory for everyone to use. The next part I was going to share, alumni engagement initiatives that we have coming up. We are excited to share that we are hosting a 4-school networking opportunity in New York City on June 10th. It will be from 6 to 9 in conjunction with US, Laurel, and Hawken. And it's going to be about, we're going to have a panel with a representative from each school talking about different facets of their career. So representatives from different areas talking about how they ended up in New York, tips and tricks of living in New York, and it's going to be a great event. We're kind of pulling all the details now, so I will have panelists announced soon, but we hope to open registration at the end of April. If you are going to be in New York, we'd love to have you, but also if you have friends who are in New York, please spread the word that this event's coming up. We hope to get a great turnout, and we're really trying to promote this to our college students who may be in the city for internships. So we're hoping to really bridge the college kids and some of our New York alums together and use our New York alums to help them as mentors. Also this summer, we are going to have an event in Seattle on June, I believe it's June 26th. More details to come on that, but there'll be an afternoon event and an evening event. Registration will be opening as soon as we finalize all those details, but we'll share more with this group. So again, if you or any of your friends are in Seattle, we would love to have you. And then we will also be planning a Cleveland event this summer. It's our annual happy hour. It may be just happy hour. It may be something more like a flower arranging class or some sort of activity, but it will be kind of our summer event that kicks off the start of the new school year. So more details on all of those. And then I will, when we get down to the 150th, I'll share some ideas that we have for how we're going to celebrate the 150th here in Cleveland, as well as regionally. But those are the alumni events coming up. Now I'm going to open it up. We don't have a ton of time for this, but I wanted to just do a quick run through for everyone. I know we only meet twice a year. And we have such a great group. I'd love for everyone just to give a quick hello, your name, your class year, where you live, and maybe either what you're doing, whether it's for a career or volunteering or parenting, just a quick hello so that everyone can get to know each other. So I'm going to just call people out, and if you can unmute yourself and just say hello, that would be great. I'm going to start with, first on my screen is Renee Brown. They may not be right on the camera. Okay, I'm going to go with, how about Stephanie? Oh, no, there's Renee.
Hi, I am unmuted. Sorry. I have not great bandwidth, so I've had my camera off. Can you see me?
I can't see you, but we can hear you.
Can you guys hear me?
I can hear. Oh, there you are.
Yes,
We can
Mara.
hear you.
There you are.
Oh, hi. Yeah, sorry. I'm Renee Brown. Hello. I am HB class of 1989. This is my first year on the Heads Council. I live in Alexandria, Virginia, in the Washington, D.C. area. And I am an attorney in the Office of the General Counsel at the Department of Homeland Security.
Wonderful. Thank you, Renee. And Stephanie, I'm going to go with you.
Is that Stephanie? Me, Stephanie?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Stephanie Gale. I'm class of 93. And I think this is my last year, right?
I think so.
I know here I am writing down the 24th and the 25th. And then I got all excited and I went, wait a minute. Oh, I think I'm cycling off. But I've loved being a part of this. So thank you. I'm here in Cleveland. And I am taking some time off from being a nurse practitioner to be mom. And it's the best job ever. So
Amazing. That's
here.
great news.
I'll have to click off 10 minutes early to go get it.
Okay. Thanks, Stephanie.
Sorry.
All right. We've got Anne. Oh, wait, you're on mute.
Got it. Sorry.
That's it.
I'm Ann Mazzoni. This is my first year on this. I am the class of 1963, which makes me very, very, very old. And I live in Chapel Hill. And I think the thing about me that's been interesting is that my daughter has been caught up in what's been going on in the current economic world. She worked for RTI, which is a nonprofit organization with worldwide 6,000, a big worldwide nonprofit. And she, unfortunately, most of their research that they did was for USAID and the National Institute of Health. And so while they weren't a direct laying off, it took 3 rounds before it got to her. And so she was laid off. But the good news is that within 2 weeks, she got another job, which is a miracle as far as I'm concerned. But that's what's been going on in my life.
That's a lot. Well, I'm so glad that she has landed back on her feet, but I'm sure that was stressful. Yes. All right. We're moving on to Christy Bittenbender.
Hi, I'm class of 70 and live in Orange Village outside Cleveland. And currently I'm on the committee working on our 55th reunion. And then since January, my brother was in the hospital and hospice. And I just wanted to comment on hospice at the Western Reserve was an unbelievable experience. It was really an interesting thing to go through. So kudos to them.
Thank you. Sorry you had to go through that, but they are wonderful. I've
Yeah.
worked with them before. Thank you. All right. We have Mary Ann Vetterling.
Hi, I'm Mary Ann Vetterling, class of 66, and I live in Lexington, Massachusetts, and I'm a retired Spanish professor who keeps on teaching. I teach one course every fall on Zoom, and I keep researching. I might be giving 1 or 2 talks, and just enjoying retired life and doing a million things.
Amazing.
So that's me.
Wonderful. Thank you. And we have Lydia Ottman.
Hi there, Lydia Ottman. I am the oldest. This is my last year. Just turned 80, which sounds, I'm glad I'm here. But anyway, I have 2 daughters who are also lifers. I was a lifer and I was on the board for 39 years before the instituted term limits. So I've been involved with HB forever and love it, and glad I live in Moreland Hills, Ohio, so I can keep track of everything that's going on with Fran and all the wonderful things she's done for HB in her tenure here.
Thank you, Lydia.
And I had a daughter, Polly, who worked at HB in a difference for a few years. Oh, it says my internet is not stable. Sorry. I don't know if
That's
you heard
okay.
any of that.
We did. It was a little iffy, but we got it.
Oh, well.
Thank you, Lydia. Blair.
Oh, well, signing off. There we go. Thanks.
Oh, Blair, you're muted. You're having problems here. Sorry, everyone.
Sorry,
there
that's
you go.
technical difficulties over here as well. I'm Blair Light. I live in Tampa, Florida. I have 3 children here at home with me now, and I'm really active with Habitat for Humanity in the community, and I was just named one of their female ambassadors for the next 5 years. So busy helping them manage their women's build that starts in a couple weeks. So
Amazing. Thank you. I'm kicking it to your sister, Wynn Rumpleton.
I was going to say that's a hard act to follow. So I'm Wynn Rumpleton, class of 93. I live in Boston. I work at State Street, and I'm a mom to 2 school-age kids.
Wonderful. Thanks, Wynn. And we have Boyoung.
Hi, everyone. This is Bo Pauls. I am local, based in Westlake, and class of 89 with Renee, and also friends with Lydia's daughter, Hillary. And this is my first year on Heads Council, and it's really opened my eyes to all the amazing programming at Hathaway Brown. So a very exciting news in our family is that my daughter, who's currently a freshman, will be transferring to HB in the fall.
Yay! Congratulations.
Yes, it will be a long commute because we're out in Westlake, but we're just so excited for this opportunity for her.
That's awesome. Congratulations. We can't wait to
Thank
meet her. All right, we have Alex.
Hi, Alexandra Hayes. I was class of 2009. I live in Dallas, Texas now, and I'm an attorney. Um, and yeah, I think that's it about me.
Okay, great. And Cindy Resch?
Cindy Resch, class of 75, going to be attending my 50th HB reunion in a few weeks, which is exciting. Semi-retired, work here in Cleveland, live in Gates Mills, and have two daughters who were both also lifers at HB.
Great, thank you, Cindy. And we have Sheena.
Hi, I'm Sheena Polly, class of 1984, and I live in the Chagrin Falls area. And I just want to tell you that Lydia is my idol, by the way. I've been following the birthday celebrations. I'm a senior portfolio manager and managing director at MAI Capital, which is also, I credit Lydia with this because she inspired me to pursue a career in finance. So thank you. And I'm delighted to be part of the group. And unfortunately, I think I'm rolling off this year, so I'm going to miss everyone. But
Oh, well, thank you so much.
thank
That's a
you.
sweet story you shared. We have Bailey.
Hi, everybody. I'm Bailey Wells, class of 2004. I am sitting here in downtown Cleveland in our newly renovated Cleveland Guardians front office. And so that's what I'm doing. So we're prepping for a game tonight, but in my second year with Heads Council, and just continue to be thrilled by all the progress and acceleration moving forward.
Thank you, Bailey, and good luck to the Guardians. Stephanie. Stephanie Coleman. Yeah, there you go.
Hi, Stephanie Halpin Coleman, class of 92 with Polly Upman. I am a mom of 4 in St. Louis, and currently this is working as an artist and traveling and selling commission work. And this is my first year on the committee, and very excited to be back in Cleveland again in the fall. So thank you.
Great. And Caroline Coburn?
Hi, I'm Carolyn Coburn, class of 2006. I live on the Upper West Side of Manhattan and work at Google, which is where I am in this sad little phone booth right now. This is my first year on Heads Council. Excited to be involved, although will not be able to participate very much in the weekend in the fall because my sister is getting married in Cleveland that weekend. So hopefully I can tap in at least for a few hours.
That's funny. Well, congratulations, Star. I've got Katie next.
Hi, everyone. I am Katie Kleinhens, class of 2005. This is my first year on HB's Head Council. I currently live in Cleveland Heights, Ohio with my husband and my son. My son, Johnny, is in the ITC program at HB, and we absolutely love it. I currently work at Dealer Tire. I've been there for about 16 years, and I head up enterprise sales operations for the company.
Great. And we got a couple more. Let's see. We have the other, let's see, Jess Van Wagenen. I see
Hey,
you on
Missy.
there.
So I'm Jess Van Wagenen. I'm class of 02 from HB. This is my first year on Heads Council. I work at AdCom, which is in downtown Cleveland. I head up the integrated media team. AdCom's a marketing agency, and we actually handle HB's business. So I'm involved in the enrollment campaign for HB. I have 4 daughters, and notably, we just toured HB on Friday for my 2 oldest daughters who are in 3rd grade now. We're looking for 5th, which was awesome. We got an amazing tour, and notably, the reason we toured is because the tipping point for me was the Heads Council meeting last October. The Makers Lab, the debate presentation. I was finally like, all right, HB, you got me. We're coming in.
That is awesome to hear. I love that. Thank you. Lucy Lewis.
Hi, I'm Lucy Loomis. I'm class of 70 from HB, and this is my final meeting on the council. And I live in Denver, Colorado, where I'm a semi-retired family physician, still do a little practice. I work at a safety net hospital, community health center. And I've stayed active in national work for community health centers. So of course, we're very worried about Medicaid cuts and what we'll do to a lot of the patients we serve. And then on a personal side, I've got 3 kids. All of them live in Colorado, and we're expecting our my second grandchild any week now. So looking forward to that event.
Great. I'm also gonna go to Whitney Marie.
Hey everyone. Hi everyone. I am Whitney Marie Murphy, class of 2007. And someone mentioned hospice, and I don't know if you could see my sweater, but I'm a interfaith chaplain at Hospice of the Western Reserve.
Oh,
And so,
wonderful.
yeah, so I was like, let me keep HIPAA, at the forefront. But just know that I'm really glad we were able to hold you and your family well. And one of the things a couple of things that have been new with me is one, I just joined the HB staff as a Hathaway Brown track coach. And so that's been really cool and really fun to be able to actually coach the girls in a sport that I played and ran when I was in high school. And, I had the record of our 4x1 is up still, and they came really, really close to breaking it on Saturday. So it was like this moment of like, your time is up. And so I'm like, who gets to coach themselves out of a record? I do. And so it's been really beautiful. And then something that I've been working on is I started a nonprofit that works with spiritual care and mental health services for LGBT persons and who are identified as people of color. So being able to be in the community, I'm here in Cleveland, Ohio. I came back from Los Angeles, so I'm home.
Wonderful.
Quick question for you, Whitney. Will you be
Yes, yes.
tracking high school or training high school girls?
Yes, yes. So I am the high school track coach.
So excited. You'll get to know my daughter.
Okay, who's your daughter?
Well, no, when she transfers next year. Yes.
Oh,
Track and
yes, yes,
soccer. Yeah.
yes. Okay, let's look. I'm gonna tell her
Yes,
work
I
them
love
arms.
it.
Thank you, Whitney Marie. Let's see, Katie.
Hi, I'm Katie Porath. I am also, like Whitney, a member of the class of 2007. I live in Shaker Heights with my husband and son, and I am an attorney in the general office of the general counsel at Highland Software, which is located in Westlake.
Great. Chandler, I didn't call you yet, did I?
No, not yet. Hi, I'm Chandler, class of 09, with Meryl and Alex. Played soccer with Meryl, Alex, and Carolyn, and most notably ran track for the Whitney, and ran for Whitney on that 4x1 team. So look forward to her coaching all of us out of a record this coming year and years to come.
Amazing.
I live in New York, do finance, and had a daughter about a year ago.
Great, thank you. And I think two more. Julie, I don't think I called you new yet.
Hello, everybody. I'm Julie Terrell Hooper, graduated in the class of 1976. We celebrated the centennial that year. So we're looking at our 50th reunion next year, along with your celebration. I live in the Bay Area, Menlo Park, California. I'm professionally retired, but have spent the last 10 years or so working in leadership in nonprofit areas, particularly youth mental health and students with learning differences. I'm glad to be a part of the council.
Thank you. I think I got everyone. If I did not get you, please speak up. Did I get everyone? Oh, wait, sorry. Go ahead.
Hi, Meryl.
Oh, there you are.
Am I good? Okay.
Oh, you're on my other
Meryl.
screen.
Oh, that's okay. Class of 2009, like Chandler mentioned, played soccer at Hathaway Brown, and then I've been in Atlanta ever since. And so it's gorgeous in Atlanta right now. The azaleas are blooming. Everyone's looking forward to the Masters. I'm a mom to Henry, who's 9.5 months, and I work at the Home Depot.
Amazing. Thank you. Jealous that it's beautiful there because it's not here. Did I forget anyone else? Last call.
Did Margot go? Margot Slonowski?
Oh, nope, you're right. There we go.
Hi, sorry I joined late, but Margot Slamkowski, class of 04. I live in Shaker Heights and I work remotely for Target. So Home Depot's friend.
Great, thank you. Well, thank you, everyone. I know that took a little time, but I think it's just really nice to hear from everyone and build those connections again. So thank you. Please make sure to get Tiana that directory information when you can, and we'll make sure we have the most up-to-date directory for the fall. I'm now going to turn it over to Caroline Coburn, who is our Philanthropy Giving Chair, to give an update.
Hi, everyone. Me again. Just quick update. Great news. Heads Council has given over $45,000 to fund HB since the fiscal year started on July 1. So thank you to everyone who's already made a gift. We're up to 89% participation or 94%, including pledges. So if you pledge, don't forget to give. We need 4 more members to get us to 100%. I kind of suspect if you haven't given already, you might not be on this call. But if you are, I'm talking to you. Please fulfill your commitment. Go to hb.edu/donate and tell your friends on Heads Council who might not be here, please donate. Really important to support the fund and keep funding all the great work that HB does. So thanks everyone who's participated, and those last 4, please get your pledges in.
Thank you so much. And great job, everyone. That's a great accomplishment. We're almost there. And that's just a reminder that our fiscal year will end on June 30th. So then we start all over again on July 1st. Now I'm going to turn over to Mike Chuney, who is the Director of Fellowships and Global Citizenship. And he is joined by 3 of our HB students. We have Lauren, I'm sorry if I pronounced your last name wrong. I think it's Reyes from class of 2025, Charlotte Clyde from 2026, and Brooke Medhurst from 2026. They are some of our HB Global Scholars, and they are going to share HB's experience at the Hague in the International Model UN Conference this year.
Awesome. Thanks for having us today. We're really grateful and appreciative, and I will let the stars here do most of the talking, but very grateful to be here as a proud director of our global programming and international education here at HB. We did just send 70 students to 4 different foreign countries, as Fran mentioned, over the spring break. Some wonderful learning opportunities. And what our 3 student guests are going to share with you here in a moment is a wonderful opportunity that we were able to take at the end of January to go to The Hague in the Netherlands as part of a Model UN conference that was going on there. And I would just say broadly, a fine example of how experiential learning really works here at HB. Here's students that were learning about government and international affairs and really kind of active both on campus and locally in this kind of stuff. And through their great work in the greater Cleveland Model UN kind of universe, they were earmarked by some event organizers that gave them this opportunity to go overseas. Much thanks to obviously the HB administration for seeing the why in this and being able to support us so that students like these can take what they're learning in the classroom and branch out and get out into the world and apply it and see it and gain some of that hard knowledge that comes from experiencing the things that can be experienced once we're well off campus. I'm gonna kick it over to my friends here.
Thank you for that introduction, Mr. Chuney, and thank you everyone for having us. So like Mr. Chuney was saying, in January, Brooke, Lauren, and I had the incredible opportunity to attend the Hague International Model United Nations Conference 2025, where we represented the delegation of France. We refer to the conference as Diamond, and it's actually the world's largest Model UN conference for high schoolers in the entire globe. At the conference, there were over 3,200 delegates in attendance, and they came from 200 different schools from 120 different countries. So during the conference, we passed resolutions, we debated pressing international issues and challenges, and we really got to see everything that we discussed in our HB Global Scholars classes, in our history classes. We really got to see it come to life, and we are so grateful to have been able to take our passion for diplomacy and policy and international relations onto the global stage.
Yeah, so Charlotte talked about the conference, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about what that debate looked like. So I'm Brooke, and Charlotte and I at the conference were on actually the smallest committee in the entire conference. So people weren't debating with 3,200 people in the room. That would be kind of crazy, but we debated with 15 people because we were on the Security Council. And so you hear of the United Nations Security Council, and that was a pretty good simulation of what we did. And so on the Security Council, On the Security Council, we represented France, and so that means we were part of the P5 committee, the permanent 5 members that are represented. So that's France, the United States, the UK, China, and Russia. And we got to debate a lot of current issues, and that was really cool to keep up with the times and see what it's like to really dive into those topics. We talked about the Middle East, Afghanistan, and the Democratic Republic of the Congo. And we tried to pass collaborative resolutions. So in the Security Council, it was a little bit different than other committees. We actually submitted individual clauses, and as a whole committee, we passed those clauses to make one collaborative resolution per topic. And so Charlotte and I got a few of our clauses passed and put into those resolutions. So that was really cool to see what our solutions to the topics were. And then also, I just want to touch on how incredible of an experience this was to be interacting with kids from all across the globe. We actually still keep in touch with a lot of them today, and we just have so many meaningful connections now with kids from so many different countries, and it was just an experience to gain a lot of perspective. So
yeah, and so I was on the environmental commission, so I was separate from Brooke and Charlotte. And I'm Lauren, by the way, class of 2025. So like I mentioned, I was on the environmental commission, which consisted of around 120 students from around the world. And some of the topics that we debated included land degradation, water treatment systems, and promoting vegetarianism. And there were 8 resolutions that were debated throughout the conference in my committee. And my resolution was one of them, representing France. And my resolution unanimously passed within a committee of 120. And a little fun fact is that the co-signatories on my resolution were all female, which I thought was a nice fact to share. So Brooke, Charlotte, and I were invited to go to the conference because of our involvement in the Cleveland International Model United Nations Conference, also known as CLEMUN, like Mr. Chuney touched on. So I got involved my junior year as a chair of the political committee, and Brooke and Charlotte were chairs of their respective committees, the Disarmament and International Security Committee and the Environment and Economic Committees. And because of our involvement as chairs, for myself, I participated, engaged in the meetings along with Brooke and Charlotte, which were held around every other Sunday for about 2 hours at St. Edward High School in Lakewood, so around 40 minutes from Hathaway Brown, so it was a bit of a drive. And because of our involvement, I was later promoted my senior year currently as Joint Secretary General for CLEMUN 25, which is the highest position you can receive at this conference. And Brooke and Charlotte were recently just appointed for CLEMUN 26 as Charlotte was appointed as my position, Joint Secretary General, and Brooke was appointed as the Deputy Secretary General. And so because of this, St. Edward, in partnership with Hathaway Brown and the Global Citizenship Program, invited us to attend this conference.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. I'm going to open it up if anyone has any questions for the students while we're here. No? Put people on the spot. Is this the only conference you'll go to this year? Is there one every single year that you go to?
So every year we have CLEMUN. And so like when we first started, we were just delegates at the conference, all of us. And then this year we joined the leadership team. And so we were chairs. And then Lauren, she's 1 year ahead of us in this trajectory, but Brooke and I will join on the secretariat, which is the more leadership perspective. So every year we go to this CLEMUN conference, and then specifically from the CLEMUN leadership team, we were selected and invited from our performance at the local level to attend the conference in The Hague.
Could I ask a quick question? How did you get involved in CLEMUN in the first place? How did that happen? What happened at HB or whatever?
Yeah, so I've always really been interested in diplomacy and international affairs. So I'll be honest, I joined my freshman year and I went to the conference and I felt very overwhelmed. And I was like, I don't know if I'm going to continue this. And then my sophomore year came around and I said, you know what, like, I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to try. And I ended up representing Columbia my sophomore year. And I ended up winning an award for my resolution and as an honorable mention within my committee. And I just, honestly, I really fell in love with it. I'm studying international affairs in college next year. So I truly fell in love with it probably my sophomore year. is when I first got involved with Model UN.
I wonder if I could just add too, and this is the best part about the history of this from before even these three were a part of this, was that we, a number of HB Global Scholars approached me like maybe 7 or 8 years ago and said, we want to try this. We didn't have a Model UN club or any program with it tied to Global Scholars. We want to try it. This conference exists in Cleveland with high schools from all over the area. And we did. And it was one of those wonderful examples where here were the students kind of driving some inquiry, some curiosity, and also like a bit of fearlessness, because we really struggled the first couple of years with it, because learning the rules and how to, you know, kind of make your voice be heard in the broader like General Assembly is a whole process. It's like a true simulation of the United Nations. So this is like a wonderful moment that really speaks to a kind of a culmination of this process where HB students have asked to get involved. We figured out how to get them involved. And now, you know, like these three were like tremendous leaders. It's a nice story. It really is.
That's great. Thank you. And we have a few comments. I don't know if you guys can see these in here, but we have awesome job, ladies. Very impressive, ladies. Way to go. Margot shared, Model UN was one of my favorite high school experiences. These are such valuable learning experiences. Thanks for sharing with us. And Caroline was also in it and said, surprised we went to Georgetown.
Can I ask a quick question? This is Dr. Basal. So Charlotte, Brooke, Lauren, can you tell us how long you've been at HB, right? And when you entered, because that orients people a little bit. And then Lauren, can you tell us a little bit about your future plans?
Yeah, so I'll start. So I will actually be in the DC area. I will be attending George Washington University, GW, for the next 4 years, and I'll be studying international affairs. Obviously in the future, I would love to be a part of the United Nations. Truly, Model UN has been such a dream for me, and I would love to continue that. And as Dr. Basel mentioned, I'm in lifer here at HB. This is my 17th year here. I started in Nami's place. I've been here the longest in my grade, and I'm just truly grateful to call HB home, and it's going to be very sad to leave next year.
Yeah, we'll be sad for you to leave too, Lauren. My name is Charlotte, and I came to HB in 9th grade from Chagrin Falls Middle School, where I was for 1 year. But I've lived in Los Angeles, in San Diego, in New York. I've lived in a lot of different places. And I also want to pursue a similar path in college. I'm interested in studying political science. I'm hopefully going to law school. And so continuing on this wonderful path, inspired by all of you and all of the opportunities that HB has given us.
Yeah, and then I'm Brooke. I came to HB my freshman year from also Chagrin with Charlotte in 2022. So I have been here for 3 years. It's my junior year right now, and I am also interested in studying political science and also environmental science. I'm really involved in sustainability at HB, so studying both political and environmental science and also law later on is really appealing to me.
And Lauren, I'm just embarrassed you because I put a picture of you, I think, when you were in 4th grade in the chat, because Lauren is one of the students who every year comes into my office to give me her annual fun gift. And she focuses, and that I think is the earliest one I have, Lauren. And some of them may be in your lifer presentation.
Oh, well, thank you very much. Yes, giving to the annual fund. I've done that since I was probably in pre-K with Mr. Chris as well. But truly, I love giving back to HB. And yes, thank you for sharing that lovely memory.
Hi, Lauren. This is Whitney. I'm class of 2007. And well, actually, all of you ladies, I was international studies, political science, and French. So I was definitely on the bandwagon of foreign policy. And I remember in college, I did an internship at the United Nations Foundation. So I lived in DC. I was able to do a semester there. So I know that you'll be in DC. And so I just want to say, enjoy the space, and like the options are limitless. And if you need anyone to like talk to or anything like that, I took French because one of the languages for the UN is French. So c'est pourquoi je parle français.
Oui, moi aussi. I also take French as well. I would hopefully like.
Je t'adore.
Thank you very much.
I was going to say one thing is, as far back as 1963, we had not as expansive by any means a program, but we had sort of a world affairs committee that you could go to their meetings. They certainly weren't once a month, but it's interesting to see what it has developed into, and that's pretty awesome. You girls are amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much for joining us. We really appreciate hearing from you. And we're going to move on to the next portion of our program.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, thank you. Unfortunately, Rebecca Feliciano, who is HB's 150th coordinator, had a medical situation today and is unable to join the call. So I'm going to share her recap, nothing urgent and bad, but it was just another conflict that came up. So I just wanted to, I think Tiana's going to share our slide with you, if we can see that. But wanted to share some kind of high level plans that we have for the 150th. I appreciate the Heads Council last year sharing their thoughts and ideas with our outside consultant, and Rebecca has kind of gathered all of those thoughts and ideas, and then has been thinking about how we can best celebrate. So the goal really is to enhance existing school events with a special anniversary twist and create some unforgettable moments across all departments and divisions to celebrate this very special celebration and milestone. To kick off, we are planning in August an HB Community Night at Blossom, featuring a pre-concert picnic and the Cleveland Orchestra that is going to be performing the Lion King score live. So if you are in Cleveland, we hope that you will come. HB, for those who don't know, has some deep ties with the Cleveland Orchestra. It was founded by alumna Adelia Prentice Hughes, class of 1886, and the Blossom Music Center honors the Blossom family, including Elizabeth Bingham Blossom from class of 1899. So it'll be a great event. More details to come on all of that. And then we also have some exciting plans in motion from the playground opening. As probably all of you know, the playground is under construction right now, and it is planning to be opened in the fall. So we will have a special event that's tied in with our Light the Night event, and that's in September, and we'll have cupcakes, and we'll be doing a big ribbon cutting there. So again, you'll be invited to that. Rebecca's also working on getting a county proclamation and lighting the terminal tower in brown and gold. And then we are also going to be making some events, or in the works of making events for the spring of 2026. And then we will also have a lot of regional events. So not just in Cleveland, we want people all over the country to be celebrating. So we are busy working on plans for our regional events around the country to celebrate the 150th. So more details to come, but we will be sharing those with the Heads Council. We hope you will all be able to attend. And if we have an event in your area, we may be reaching out to you to serve as kind of a honorary host with us. And so we hope that if we reach out, that you will consider accepting that invitation to help us. So that is that on the 150th. Also, Rebecca did share, if you have any ideas or suggestions, she would love to hear them. We will include her information in the recap email for you, but her phone is waiting to ring. So please call her or email her, and she's excited to talk to the Heads Council. And finally, we are moving into our wrapping things up, kind of. First, I want to plug our Profiles of Possibility. I know I've sent an email, many emails to this group, and we've shared it in socials and in our newsletter, but we are launching the Profiles of Possibility project in conjunction with our 150th. And the goal of the project is to highlight the amazing network of amazing alums that we have that have walked through these very halls and are now out in the workplace and volunteering and serving as wonderful parents. So we want to hear from you. We want to hear your story, whether you are a CEO of a company or a stay-at-home mom managing your household or a surgeon or a volunteer. We want to hear from you. So we want your story. Tiana's going to drop the link in the chat, and it will also be in our recap. But we really hope to showcase not only to alum, but also to our current students that they have this amazing network of people that are right there in their sisterhood. And we hope that everyone on the council will submit a profile. So it only takes a couple of minutes, and they will be shared on socials. We're going to have them displayed around the school. And then also we're going to have a section of our new website that will house these in a library so that you can see all the amazing people that have walked these very halls. So that is our plug for Profiles of Possibility. And now I'm going to bring it back to Fran to address some of the questions that we got from the council. And we will also open it up for any new questions that may have popped up during this meeting.
Thanks, Missy. Thanks everybody too for such thoughtful questions. They ranged from what are we doing about the Hathaway Brown commitment to DEI initiatives, to follow up on how did the election go, because we had done so much work on the election, to how are we addressing technology and social media / cell phones, and are we having any plans for providing a dedicated track? Whitney Marie asked. So all of those pieces are certainly on our minds. So I only have 15 minutes, but I'll give kind of a broad overview, and then I'd really love to open it up to a dialogue, because what I'd love to hear is, have you seen another institution do it better, or where can I learn from that you see? So with regards to DEI, on February 10th, every other week I send a message to our school community. That's the parents and the teachers and kind of the 1,000+ people here. So it doesn't go as far out as alums, but it's, what's going on campus, and what do parents need to know, and what do we all need to be in sync on. On February 10th, when there was so much change happening, and there was a increase a little bit of folks' anxieties, I just said, hey, we're not changing our mission. We're not changing our commitments to our core values, and we're certainly not changing our DEIB statements. It is business as usual with what we believe in and what we are committed to. And our board has absolutely been 100% behind that. I think we've had some nervous parents who are immigrants because some of them work at the Cleveland Clinic or UH or, different industries in Cleveland, a little worried. And so we just affirmed who can and can't come in our building. And we've had some, folks interested in, hey, are things really going to change? And I just keep saying over and over, we don't take any federal money. And so in some ways, we're able to be even more anchored to the espoused beliefs, core values, and things that we believe in. So that has been our message and will continue to be our message. The board does meet in May, and I regularly communicate with them. And I think we're really focusing on what we've done really well. It was sweet. I did write, I guess it was 2 weeks ago, a letter to the community, and I got a personal note back from a mom, because I did say Happy Eid. We have quite a few Muslim girls at school, and Ramadan ended. Eid was that celebration, and she personally wrote me and said how meaningful it was for me to say that in the letter, that girls feel heard and seen, and add that being so important. So I hope both in the macro and in the micro, we can continue to do that as best we can. So thanks for that question. A few of you asked that. Civil discourse. Hey, the election went fine. Well, you just saw the girls who are leading. I mean, Charlotte, Brooke, and Lauren. I mean, that's just a few of the upperclassmen. And when you put them in charge, and they did a beautiful job leading civil discourse, I would say it went really well. I would say there were people upset a little bit about the election, and people were joyful about the election. But I think what we dug into is that healthy dialogue and debate is absolutely imperative for a healthy democracy. And as I put in the chat, Madeline, the girl who you saw debate, she ended up winning the debate of the whole city against a boy from US, and she really did a great job. She just did amazing. And all the girls were watching her win because it was live on TV. And so it was really terrific. But I think the parents were more nervous than the students. And I think the faculty and staff did a beautiful job. We did do a survey for middle school students. How are you feeling? And what, do you feel like you have an adult to go to? So it was a middle school survey post-election, and it was easy. There was no red flags kind of with that SEL thing. So I think we did a good job in preparation for that. Question about cell phones. Hey, if you haven't read that book, The Anxious Generation by Jonathan Haidt, and that's Haight. It's a great book. And we will go to a cell phone free campus next year. We now have cell phone free upper school classrooms, but not cell phone free upper school campus. We do have a cell phone free middle school and primary school and below. But next year we're going to take it even up a notch and have less phones. Mike Chooney, when he leads all those girls on international trips, they are not able to bring cell phones, and that's always been the case. And the girls report how happy they are, that they're with their friends, that they're not worried about social media stuff and not on that, and how much of a break it is. And so building a little bit on that, I think we're going to be just fine. The girls will be a little prickly about it at first. The parents will be most prickly about it because they want, immediate access, but pretty sure that'll be a healthy piece of where we're going. So, and then finally, I'll quickly open it up to other questions. Whitney Marie's question about, do we have any plans to provide a track? We've measured HB to see if we could get a track, and we actually do not have in our acreage space for an outdoor track. But we are right now in conversations with our architect, David Zink, about the final part of our master campus plan, which would be a new gym. And in that new gym, we would want an indoor track. And so it's not necessarily an outdoor track, but it would be a place where our runners could train year round. And certainly what we've seen with our new primary school building, we have an indoor playground, an indoor kind of playroom, and it's been nonstop used because of the winter we just had. So we kind of think enhancing that space. And also, and Whitney, you know this, we just hired a rock star strength and conditioning coach who's doing amazing things with our girls. We do need to enhance the weight training and that facility space, because girls today, when you are achieving and performing at the level that our athletes are, we have between 5 and 10 athletes that go on to compete on the collegiate world. And we won the states for swimming. We have the fastest runner, Jane, in Ohio. We have the #1 squash player in the country at HB. So we have high level athletes. We just need to up our game with regards to strength and conditioning spaces and enhance our gym / orchestra / arts area. That is a very big task. And the architect who's planning that just did a listening tour this winter, and he's going to present his first draft of, hey, what do you think, to the board in May. That feedback loop of what do you think usually takes a couple iterations, but we're just planning that now. We have no money raised for that, and we're not going to take on debt for that. We've not taken on debt for anything we've done thus far. And I think that's what makes us so financially secure and in such a unique position relative to our peer schools. And I'm incredibly proud of that, where we are. And that's due to your support and our stewardship of your dollars and our financial, savvy kind of skills that the board has really asked us to be, so that we can be strong through the ups and downs of what happens, which we're experiencing now. So feeling really good about where we are there. But yes, I'm going to open it up to other questions or thoughts or comments on what I've just said. Again, I want to learn from you if you have ideas. Yeah, Caroline.
Thanks for all this. This always makes me so proud to be an HB alum. Question about the cell phone policy, and I'll actually forward it after this. I just read a really interesting interview with a psychologist talking specifically about Jonathan Haidt and the anxious generation. And I think her thesis, which I agreed with, is some of his points are really straightforward, make a lot of sense, but some of it is sort of a little fear-mongering or fear-mongery. And she was saying that yes, not having cell phones in school can make a big impact, but a lot of it is sort of everything that goes along with that. It's and I know, HB is doing media literacy like since I was there, but like sort of how we're teaching girls and parents to like be safe and be aware and also not have be like all adolescent mental health issues are tied to cell phones. So one, just curious sort of the more like holistic approach and how you're all talking about that. And then more tactically also, what does this mean for like laptops or iPads? Like, because obviously folks can still access social media and like harmful stuff via other avenues.
Yeah, great question. And you're absolutely right. And watches. I mean, watches and, everything's connected. Everything's in sync, right? First thing about social media awareness, one of the things we know, and I agree with you, Jonathan Haidt is not the silver bullet, and there is fear mongering. And we had an opportunity, did we want to choose his book as our faculty read of the summer? Many of our faculty really wanted to lean into that. We decided not to because of the fear piece of that. Instead, we're going to be reading Super Communicators, which is a great book as well. We have invested in a curriculum that was founded by a woman who now runs a nonprofit called the Social Institute. If you haven't heard of it, look it up. It's terrific. And her mantra is, we need to teach girls how do you win at social, not why you shouldn't use it, but how do you win? And where are the boundaries, right? Boundaries are important for girls, for people. And where and how do you kind of become savvy enough to understand what they're doing? And so a lot of our work in our social media and health and wellness classes is around that. I think there's this sense of distraction and this idea of getting pulled into a silo, right, and not being social. So we really are working hard about, can social time be social time without phones? We've discovered that academic time can be healthy academic time without phones this year because there's no cell phones allowed in any classroom. And yes, there's still a laptop open, and yes, there's screen time and stuff like that. So you can never say, no, it's not happening. But it's certainly cut it down a lot. And the other thing is what we find is, and we just did a student survey in the upper school, the number of hours a student reports, self-reports that they spend on their phone, and I would assume that's mostly after school, not during school, the less they are engaged in school, the less they feel like a sense of belonging, the less they feel connected. And so we know health-wise, and we share this data with the girls. Hey, it's sleep and it's how much time is on your phone. Those two things define today how engaged you are in school. And the more you use, the less sleep and the more you use your phone, the less engaged you are, the less you feel like you belong. So we're going at it with a transparency, how do you win kind of mantra, but you're absolutely right, Caroline. It is, you can't, once you say do not touch it, everybody wants it. So that's not the way to go at this. And Jonathan Haidt is a little bit of fear mongering, but I do think he's got some really interesting points.
Do we have any other questions? We have 2 minutes left. Maybe not. All right.
One of the questions was about kind of flexibility in a world that's no longer operating as it was 50 years ago. Like, how do you prepare kids for the tomorrow's tomorrow? Which, we talk about as a faculty a lot. And that's kind of the reason we picked this book called Super Communicators. Because there is a sense of, people to people communication, person, like how can you be a feeler and a policy person and a purpose person, and really get some skills, both social, emotional, interaction skills, as well as kind of learn for life curiosity pieces. I do think training girls for future we don't even imagine yet is really part of our faculty dialogue quite often.
That's interesting. All right. Does anybody else have anything before we hop off?
I love your questions and I'm so excited by them and so happy for your advice. So all of a sudden, literally, you see a great letter by a college that was written or a book that you read that you think, oh my gosh, you know, I'd love people at HB to know about this, or something on your mind. Please, please, please forward it to me or Missy and Tiana. Your kind of insights, really, we do take them to heart and they really help us. So I'm so grateful for people who do that often. So thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Please send them to us and we will forward them on. And as I said, if you have any other questions that you think of as soon as you get off this call, that happens to me a lot after a meeting. I'm like, oh, I should have asked that. Please send it to us and we'll make sure to get them to Fran and can address them in our recap. But thank you. I want to thank again to the class that's rolling off. Thank you so much for your time and commitment. And to all of you, we are excited to have you on board and we will see you in October. So look out for the save the date and more information to follow. So thank you all so much. Have a good day.